All right, so today we're going to be discussing Mandalorian Season 1, Episode 2. This one is called The Child. It could also be titled Episode 2 Cute. Anyone?
Or Chapter 2 Cute.
Yeah, Chapter 2 Cute. Of course, I'm Nate, joined with Justin.
What's up, guys?
And Connor.
How you doing?
What's up, Stigma? How are you?
A great sentence.
Just saying hello to people in the chat.
I know, that sounds like a think piece. Anyway.
Yeah, of course, we're going to be discussing spoilers. So if you have not watched the episode, don't watch this live stream. Come back when it's a video on demand and you can watch it whenever you want.
You can skip forward to the good parts.
True. What's up, Cholo? How are you? Got some people in the chat.
Do you lean like a cholo?
What? The classic song?
Yeah.
All right, so Connor, do you want to just jump right into it? I think we're ready to go here.
Yeah, I mean, just right off the bat, the child cooed a lot. It was amazing.
Yoda baby is the cutest thing on planet Earth.
Child coos.
It is just an episode about how cute baby Yoda is. And
I think he's
loved
overhyped.
it. Yeah.
I think he's overhyped.
You would say something like that. You really would. I personally think Yoda baby is too adorable, especially when it's a real puppet.
Or she.
Yes.
Yes. He or she.
But it's also that thing you didn't know you needed in your life.
Right.
And then you realize there's been this hole inside of you the whole time.
I felt like the Grinch, and my heart was growing in size as the episode went on, and I saw more and more of Yoda baby.
Yes.
It was just absolutely wonderful. Like I said, especially when it is a puppet, like a real functioning puppet, even better. Sell me the actual puppet.
And it's weird. I actually don't know which I like, because it gets out of its little pod several times in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
And watching movie, I mean, like, that's great. But also just floating side by side, content by the Mandalorian.
Right.
You're like, cool.
Just his little right-hand man.
Yes.
Or, the part when he's trying to heal the Mandalorian's wound.
Yes.
Super cute. Or later in the episode when he passes out.
And he's like, it's too cute. And he closes the pod. But, so this episode was a very... last one, the first episode was much more action heavy, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
This was really conflict of how do we get off this planet, So, ship got wrecked.
Yeah, the Jawas end up stripping the ship, which was a great scene. We actually get to see some disintegrations.
Just straight up disintegration.
I love that the Mandalorian just jumps from they're scrapping my ship to I'm just going to murder all of them.
Yes.
Like, time for all of them to die.
Well, and it's like if you were concerned at all, hey, this character's gone soft, because the child.
Right.
Don't worry.
Well, yeah, like right at the beginning of the episode, we get that pretty awesome melee fight scene with the Mandalorian and what I would assume is whatever race Bosk is.
Yeah.
Just some different people. Pretty cool scene. And, you're like, oh, and like the shot of, like in the background, you see the shadow jump over the rock, and then you see it like through the helmet as well.
The reflection.
The great cinematography just continued on through this episode.
I think
did the score. Yeah,
I was gonna say I think the soundtrack is even better in this episode as well.
And felt more different and more Star Warsy at the same time.
Yeah,
it was weird. We're just waxing, but so after the ship gets kind of sacked, you have that action sequence there where he's trying to catch them and stop them.
Mm-hmm.
I was hyped because there was shots that were just straight out of, like Jabba's end in Return of the Jedi.
True. And I just love, like, when the Mandalorian's climbing on the sandcrawler and he's just pulling the Jawas out, throwing them to the ground.
No fucks to give.
Like, he seriously just wants his ship parts back.
Yeah.
And then I love that they switch it up eventually when he gets to the top of the sandcrawler. I was thinking, like, oh, he's just going to mow them all down right now or something. And then they're just like, nope. And then electrocute him and he falls off the sandcrawler. Yes. That was a super fun scene.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Yoda baby is just floating
Just chill.
carelessly behind.
Yeah.
like it knows it'll all be okay.
Right.
Uh,
I think that it's like attached to the Mandalorian's like wrist computer or whatever.
Yeah.
So it like follows him around. But I just like to imagine that it's Yoda baby using the Force to like go along. But I don't. That's not true. But
so
yeah.
I mean, after that we get, as I put it, Nick negotiating Nolte,
Yeah.
the ultimate middleman.
He really does save the Mandalorian's skin.
Like entirely.
Yeah.
So they go negotiate uneasy negotiations after the mass slaughter.
Understandably, though.
Yeah. And obviously the Jawas stole from him. He doesn't want to trade anything he has.
Which I love the line when the Mandalorian's trying to speak Jawa, and they're making fun of him. They're laughing at him, and they say that he sounds like a Wookiee, and then he's like says something, and then activates his flamethrower.
He's like, "Do you understand this?"
Yeah, just instantly goes back to wanting to kill them more than anything. It's just such a funny contrast, and it's interesting to see him kind of being like a hothead. Yeah, because he's been like kind of cool, calm, and collected for most of the show so far. And same thing when the Jawas get close to Yoda baby, and he's like, "Get away from him!" Yeah.
Well, it isn't, and there's like a weird power shift that happens there, right? Because like they've got he can't really. The hothead thing doesn't work. Nick Nolte knows this. Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna call him Nick Nolte.
Ugnaught.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think he has. Well, at least they haven't said his name in the show. I'm sure by now he probably has an official name, but you know how Star Wars goes.
Yes, Porkins. But so they go. They come to the compromise. Oh, they want the egg.
Yeah, Suka.
And that leads to kind of the big action set piece of the episode.
True, which is a pretty cool scene. The mud horn, as the subtitles label it, reminded me a lot of the episode 2.
Yes,
arena creature of a similar nature,
but like better.
It's a staple of Star Wars. You always have to have a big creature, in
no matter what.
Like literally, every comic.
Yeah.
Like everything has to have some big creature.
There's always a bigger fish.
What were those random creatures in Force Awakens called? They were
Rathars.
Yeah, Wrath. You didn't tell me we were hauling Rathars. Exactly. Like the big monster always has to happen, but it was cool enough.
Yeah.
And I liked that the Mandalorian is not so overpowered that he's just like easily dispatching like anything that comes at him.
He gets pretty wrecked.
Yeah, he does. And I was surprised that at the end of the episode, his armor looks pretty like repaired because it just looks so messed up after the encounter. Like it's hanging off.
When you got like that shiny silver and then it's like, covered in mud.
Yeah.
And it's like the electricity is like, it's sparking, it's destroyed. I thought for sure he was just going to not have the chest plate at least.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
or have a different one.
If we're going off of what we saw in the trailers, he's definitely going to get like a newer chest plate because it definitely looks like there's moments where he has one that's like completely like chromed out.
Right.
So I don't know if that's going to come after, maybe in the next episode. I was kind of thinking that the Mandalorian's possibly he's actually going to give them Yoda baby, not realizing like it could be a mistake, and then maybe having a change of heart later.
I think that's kind of like symbolized it with the egg thing, where like he goes through all that trouble to get the egg, and then they just devour it, and that's like what like he's gonna hand over Yoda, and
smart.
It's just gonna be experimented on.
Right,
a bit of symbolism.
Because my two thoughts were at first maybe they're going to try and figure out how Yoda's species lives so long and then use that to keep Palpatine alive for so long.
Connection.
Or maybe Palpatine needs to like harness his Force abilities or something like that. I don't think we're going to see Yoda baby in episode 9 like as like an older sort of child. Would still, I guess, would be a child.
I was gonna say like not that much.
Yeah, because Yoda was like 900 when he died. So I don't know how that would work. I've seen people online saying that they think maybe this Yoda baby is going to be in Rise of Skywalker, but I don't really see that happening. I think, unfortunately, I feel like Yoda babies might die.
Yeah.
Might end up dying or being used in some sort of way for the Empire's benefits.
Yeah.
Specifically, just because they're obviously still members of the Empire. The guy Werner Herzog who gives him the bounty, and then the Doctor as well. So like, what's the Doctor trying to do? That's what my thought is right now.
If that goes down that way, we are just going to be wrecked.
Oh, I know. But again, it'd be pretty cool. A pretty good emotional change, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
he gets brutally decapitated.
Oh no, I don't think it would be anything like that. But I don't see Yoda baby sticking around for very long.
I could see that.
Or you're dead wrong, and
yeah, and then it is all true. Although I feel like in order for Yoda baby to pay off, you'd have to do something in a later sequel because obviously he's still just a baby right now. Unless he's just gonna
The Mandalorian 2.
Yeah, I mean season 2. I would assume.
Let's find out what Benioff and Weiss have to say about it.
Please no. Kevin said, Yoda baby Black Series figure. Make it happen, Hasbro.
Be like,
you know it's coming, Kevin. You know
it's going to be this big, but they'll charge you that $20.
Yeah. Or it'll be like a deluxe Mandalorian set, and it'll be $40, but it'll just be the standard Mandalorian with the Yoda baby. Because Hasbro likes to trick us. Ideally, since we're talking about figs for a little bit, maybe a Mandalorian Ugnaught and Yoda baby in one package.
Does it come with the pod?
I'd be down.
I have spoken.
Yes, it's got to come with the pod. It's got to come with the pod. So, yeah, basically, then the fight scene continues. We get a really awesome moment of Yoda baby using the Force. So confirmed Yoda baby is Force sensitive.
But it's just a baby.
Right. But already as a baby, pretty powerful.
Right.
But Baby Yoda is a Mary Sue, question mark, Nate?
Unbelievable.
You notice Baby Yoda is obviously a baby, can use the Force, and nobody bats an eye. Fully grown girl uses the Force.
Shut up.
Mary Sue.
I mean, yeah, saves the Mandalorian's ass.
Yeah.
And then passes out.
Like
hard.
Yeah. Takes a
falls into an Odin sleep.
Seriously, a straight up nap. Sith Lord said they could do like C-3PO and Babu Frick. That's exactly what I was thinking of, honestly. We just went to Target before this live stream and we found it, although neither of us got it. Because
we already have a 3PO.
Do I really need another one? Although he does have the articulated elbow.
And his eyes turn red.
When it's cold. That's really what happens.
When it's cold, the eyes go red.
Yeah, you gotta like put in the freezer and then his eyes will turn red.
I mean, same.
Yeah. But the Mandalorian gets the egg and returns it to the Jawas in a pretty hilarious scene. Also, a hairy egg.
Repulsive. And then it's like they scalp the egg.
Yeah.
And then the yolk you're like, ugh.
It looks like some like really like homemade nacho cheese. Like when you've just melted a bunch of cheese together and it's still like way too stringy. But I couldn't decide whether I thought that scene was cute or gross. Feeling a little bit of both.
Yeah. I'm leaning towards gross though.
Yeah. But I don't know. I liked all the Jawa scenes in the episode.
Yeah.
I thought it was super fun, especially like when
language.
the Mandalorian's riding with them, and he's like all cramped up in there in the sand crawler. But yeah, the language. We got a classic Utini line.
Utini.
and Suka. I think that's pretty funny. Suka. But yeah, I this episode was really simple, but I really enjoyed that. And I liked that it was a little bit slower pace, and we just got to spend some time with the Mandalorian and Yoda, Baby Yoda.
Just hardcore dad vibes.
For real. That's what I'm thinking. I'm wondering if he's like, did he have kids or something at some point, the Mandalorian? Even though he was a kid like during the Clone Wars, but like maybe after that, he had kids and maybe something also tragic happened to his family. And that's why he feels so protective over Baby Yoda. Or at least is seemingly so like, like cutesy with it.
Yeah.
I don't know though. But
no, I know exactly what we need to talk about.
Yes.
Which is well, that actually is in sync with this. When they get back, Nick Nolte, they got the part that they're gonna fix the ship.
Oh yeah.
The little Baby Yoda eats.
Oh my gosh. when it's like the kind of further away shot, and I'm pretty sure it's CG, and he's like walking, cooing really loudly. It's super cute, and he's trying to grab the frog at first.
Yes.
I love the frog scene. I
love the second time we watched it, I was like, oh, like, cause they really focus on those, like the lizard frog, but like, the child like licks its chops.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, they like foreshadowed this then.
Like at the beginning of the episode when he first sees the lizards. But yeah. And this was my third time watching this episode. I still love it. Still think it's super cute. And it was funny because I watched it with Connor. It was his first watch, my second watch. And he just had the biggest shit-eating grin on your face the entire time that we were watching the episode, because it's just so hard not to just be cheesing.
Well, and like you said, like they got us and it was so easy.
Right. Like that's literally it. Who knew that a baby Yoda was what was going to unite the Star Wars fan base for once? There's really no division on this issue. It's pretty universal. We all love Yoda baby.
Which is especially weird for a franchise that has consistently been divided over like the cute thing, you know what I mean? Whether it's the Ewoks or Porgs or whatever.
Right.
But Baby Yoda is like a different tier.
It really is. It transcends the cuteness debate of the franchise as a whole.
But so after the effect, we have their, as you called it, the Iron Man style montage.
Dude, that's all I can think about when they're repairing the ship is how much it just looks like Iron Man 1, the suit building
John
montage.
Favreau. He's like, I'm inspired.
Exactly.
Because he directed Iron Man 1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the cross dissolves and like the overlapping shots.
Oh God, is Nick Nolte Jensen?
They're using like similar tools to repair the ship, so it was definitely 100% so funny. And
then with that they part ways. Is that the end of that character? Perhaps.
Probably.
Maybe until season 2, when he's really effed over and he needs someone like as a last resort.
Yeah.
I have spoken.
If nothing else, this show gave us Baby Yoda and I have spoken.
2 already iconic things.
Yes.
In 2 episodes. The episode, like, I wanted to talk about, J-Rick. You said that you felt like the episode was too short.
Well, it was only 30 minutes, which I'm fine. I don't think that's a horrible thing, but it feels like it could have been part of the pilot. Like as just one big pilot, as shows usually do. But then Connor, as you said, then people would say the second half is boring because it doesn't have a shootout.
Yeah.
I mean, the first one really was, I think, like trying to hook you with that grit. There's the bait and switch of like, look how gritty and cool this is. Wait, there's a cute little Baby Yoda thing.
Yeah.
But the world around it is still gritty.
Yeah. No, they struck a really cool balance.
Yeah.
So I think it works as it is.
It does. Because it's also a cliffhanger for episode 1.
Yeah.
True.
At the end. But don't you think, wouldn't you like if the episodes were longer? If you got a little more?
I mean, of course. But if it's going to be a super tight, contained story, that doesn't have too much filler or anything like that, then I am also down for that. Like, of course, I'm a Star Wars glutton. Give me more, no matter what. But if this is their vision, if this is how they wanted to play it out, if this is the story they have to tell, then I'm going to 100% support that.
And I mean, I'd put it to you this way. It's like, I'd much rather keep wanting more than like be looking at my watch during an episode. It's like, and I remember, I was a big fan of like, let's say the original run of Arrested Development, and then they got the longer episodes when they brought it back. Ooh. Big mistake, So I think like the pacing thing is really, I'm not sure if they're all going to be a half hour, but I imagine there might be varied length. That's one of the great benefits of streaming platforms is like an episode can be paced as the way it needs to be paced to be a good episode.
True.
So I'm not too worried about it.
Chris O says Turnstile rocks. Very true, Chris.
Nice.
So what else do we got here?
Just with that, the child wakes up in space.
Yep, true. We get to see the Mandalorian with his nice shiny armor on. And
cleaned it.
Yeah, he cleaned it. It's not his new armor,
right?
Presumably when he turns in the child and then recognizes the error of his ways.
Or it's a flashback when he was on Mandalore.
True. It could be either of those things.
Right.
Although now I'm kind of more convinced that at least somehow he's going to obtain the Beskar that the Empire's holding for the Mandalorians. So where do you guys think this is going to go?
The Baby Yoda thing is just throwing me off completely. Completely out of left field. Would never expect anything like that to happen.
Right.
But I do like the idea of it, of course. I think he will turn it in for the credits, and then he'll, like you said, he'll have a change of heart.
Yeah. I just can't really see it going any other way at first.
We also still haven't met
Cara Dune.
And I think that could be
or Bill Burr.
Big factor in maybe the change of heart. Or
True. And also we didn't get any more IG-11. So is it true? Is IG-11... Is that
well,
it?
He's not off the planet yet. So, like, there might be more mention of him. Like, what did you do to IG-11?
Or, like, he comes back.
Grease,
like someone else
Grease
repairs
Karfa, or whatever his name is.
Grief Karga.
Grief Karga will say, what did you do to IG-11?
We repaired him, and he's angry.
He's a T-1000 now. It's liquid IG-11.
Have you seen this boy?
Yeah.
Baby Yoda.
Now I'd love that. Chris O said episode 2 reminded me of Indiana Jones with a sandcrawler. Yeah.
It's kind of just like that Super Nintendo game.
It's very side questy.
Super side questy.
Yeah, and like since we've been playing Jedi Fallen Order and he's scaling the side of the sandcrawler, I was like, oh, it's like when you're on Kashyyyk and you're scaling the side of the AT-AT. Super dope scene.
Spoiler.
Oh no, spoilers! You go to Kashyyyk. Haven't beat the game yet. Kevin says maybe the Mandalorian will raise Baby Yoda as his own, like the Punisher raises Baby Thanos in Cosmic Ghost Rider. Is that a real thing? It sounds ridiculous, but I mean,
Space Punisher.
There's only one way to defeat him.
Oh my god.
Oh gosh. I mean, that could be cool if he ends up raising Baby Yoda as his own. But then again, like I would hope that would have some sort of payoff.
Baby Yoda gets little tiny armor.
Yeah, because if he survives past the show, it's gonna be like, where was he during the new trilogy?
Right. That's what I think the real wrench in the gears is like.
Mind you, Last Jedi gave us, children moving brooms and do like force sensitive things just out there.
We don't talk about that.
And that was when Rian Johnson still had a Star Wars trilogy coming up.
Well, I'm curious. So this is my thought though. It's like, at what stage of development, was any of that vision still like on the table, like when they were planning this,
right?
And was there any cross pollination there?
Well, he is 50 years old. He
That's what
or
I'm-
she.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because you can do it. I'm assuming whatever that trilogy was going to be so far removed from like certainly from the Skywalker storyline, but I mean, from the current thing. And you've got a character that is 50 years old and is a baby. Like, I don't know.
Do you think
Just a
that's a
thought.
problem that it's force sensitive? Like, oh, of course we had to have a force wielding character in
Now,
a new Star Wars property.
If this was our, we have this sort of inside joke where we keep making fun of like the Mandalorian. If it was like more like Rogue One,
Yeah,
and maybe I would feel like that.
if he busted out a lightsaber,
Right,
little baby art.
or like at least so far in the Mandalorian show, we haven't been getting assaulted with Star Wars iconography. Like it's pretty reserved.
Yeah, like we always make the joke. I haven't met a Mandalorian, but I have met Bosch and his good friend Forlon.
And don't forget about his buddy IG-88.
That would be
Yeah.
if the Mandalorian was Rogue One.
Chris O said, yes, that really is a thing in Cosmic Ghost Rider. So that's hilarious.
Thank you for that information.
Yeah. Future of Free says, I like that it was a side quest episode because that's something we never would have gotten in a movie
Yes.
that's trimmed down to the minute. True. They also say, really loving the show so far. And then Chris O said, the kid moving the broom was the best part of that movie.
There's kind of a side quest in The Last Jedi with the whole casino thing.
Ooh,
That
we
was
don't
kind of
talk
a
about
side
that.
with BB-8 shooting out the gold
Yeah,
coins.
stop.
I don't want to hear it.
No. Benicio del Toro haunts my dreams. So
I hope he got a good paycheck from that. I really do. I accidentally closed out of the live stream. Hold on.
Oh, no.
Let me get caught up.
No, I mean, like with what you're saying though, with like the whole force sensitive thing, it's like we're moving towards a place. I think we're moving away from that prequel-y, like people get trained. Or I'm sorry, we're moving away from the thing where people get trained. It's more like, hey, the force is a natural thing that occurs. You know, like that old everything we understood about the force before the prequels. I would say.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't think it's like that big of a deal.
Right. I don't think it's a big deal, but it's a good talking point since that
Absolutely.
we would care
Absolutely.
if it was a little more extreme.
I'm suggesting that I'm kind of good with that element of even within Rian Johnson's flawed vision.
Very true. So, do we want to talk about anything else? Anything else we got to say about The Mandalorian Episode 2?
I don't think so.
I dug it really. I feel like we've not even gotten we've not gotten remotely into the meat of the story.
True.
Clone Wars reference in the credits?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. The credits, you know how there's the changing artwork? I noticed that one of them is the Ugnaught and Mandalorian straight up in the 3D Clone Wars animation. I thought that was really, really cool.
Pretty badass.
Yeah, I was like, does that mean the Mandalorian's going to be showing up in season 7 of Clone Wars as a little baby?
Yeah.
And he's going to go, "Oi, I'm the Mandalorian."
Subscribe to Disney Plus to see me.
And don't forget,
And then-
Fridays at midnight, the Mandalorian.
Anakin Skywalker goes, "Aren't you a little short for a Mandalorian?"
Oh, please, no. No, that wouldn't happen. Though.
No, I didn't.
It's very clear that the Mandalorian was a child when Mandalore was invaded. So I think we're good on that theory. So yeah, that's really it. That's all we wanted to discuss. Of course, we got a new episode coming out on Friday. Super excited. We'll probably do another live stream again, maybe next Tuesday. Probably would be what's going to end up working out the best. Is the Tuesday following the episode, because that's the day we normally film content anyway.
We are Tuesday boys.
Yeah, so we're usually already together. So I'm going to say it. Tune in next Tuesday, same time, 7 p.m. ish, and we'll talk about the Mandalorian
New comment?
episode
I just saw
3.
something pop up.
Chris O said episode 1, great episode. Episode 2, okay. disagree with you, Chris, but of course we respect your opinion. I thought while episode 1 is definitely...
I get the impulse.
Right, because episode 1 has all the cool action, IG-11, the intrigue and introduction of the Mandalorian. And this episode is definitely a gear shift.
And the stakes are a bit lower.
Astronomically lower.
Because he's just trying to get off the planet
Yeah,
at that point, which normally wouldn't be an issue.
But I still really enjoyed it. I thought it was another great episode. I think, obviously, I said it in the first live stream, but it's right now, I think it's definitely in the running to become my favorite Disney Star Wars thing, period.
Better than the Force Awakens.
It could potentially be. We got to wait for the rest of the episodes. I jumped the gun on the first episode, which, I mean, the first episode is crazy.
I mean, Nate, you are the king of jumping the gun.
True, but I really think it's just fantastic, but I don't
That
want...
is true. That is true.
I don't want to label definitively that it is the best thing Disney Star Wars has made because I haven't seen the entire thing.
And you haven't seen Rebels.
True. And who knows? Maybe episode 5 into The Mandalorian, it turns into a CGI Jabba's Palace sing-along.
Eat it!
Chris O says, are you excited for the Rise of Skywalker?
Yes.
Increasingly so.
Yeah, I would also agree. Of course, goes without saying, Last Jedi was a bad movie. We can all agree. But we're not going to sit here and dwell on it. And I think Solo was surprisingly good. And now with the combination of The Mandalorian, I'm also revisiting Clone Wars and Jedi Fallen Order. I'm just on a Star Wars high right now.
I'm still as apprehensive as I could be, but there is something about like whenever there's a Star Wars movie in theaters and you have that chance to go, even if they're bad.
Right. Well, you didn't even see Solo though.
No,
but you should.
I'm talking main
Episodic.
Okay.
Star Wars.
And
There's
it's
that
back in the
vibe.
hands of JJ.
Like, yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
In JJ, we trust.
True, because we do all really like The Force Awakens. I genuinely think it's a great film.
I as well.
So that's all we got for you today, folks. That was our live stream. Of course, if you're new to the channel, which I think I saw some new names in the chat, make sure you're pressing that subscribe button so that you can stay tuned for the next Mandalorian live stream discussion. Next Tuesday, 7 p.m., most likely.
Let's shoot for it.
If not, we will let you know. But chances are that will be a thing. Chris O says all the Disney Star Wars were good except Last Jedi. I would slap Rogue One with a solid. It's good. Good battle scenes, and the last 5 minutes with Darth Vader is amazing.
See, they got you with that.
Yeah,
No, Rogue One to me was just pandering.
true.
It just relied too heavily on nostalgia, and I remember that.
Yeah.
Remember 3PO, like that random shot of 3PO and R2, random shot of Punda Babu and Dr. Cornelius Ezevon.
Yep.
And there's just so many instances like that. But I mean, Darth Vader's cool.
and Star Wars boom booms are cool too. You know what? I wish we could have got to see the original version of Rogue One before Gareth Edwards got locked out of the editing room, or I can't remember exactly what happened. He didn't direct the reshoots, something like that. They changed a bunch of
Scheduling
stuff.
conflicts.
Right. I wish we could see his vision, because I'm sure it would probably be a better film based on the stuff we saw in the trailer. Like, we never saw Jyn running across Scarif with the Death Star plans in her hand. So obviously a big chunk of the movie was changed for sure.
Yeah.
But of course, we will never see that. But classic Disney, just like the Phil Lord and
Lord and Miller.
Lord and Miller's version of Solo. I wonder what that's like. I mean, the Solo we got wasn't bad, but I'm sure the Lord and Miller version was probably even better.
Release the Snyder Cut.
Yeah. Listen, I would watch it. I'm not even going to lie to you. I would watch the Snyder Cut of Justice League if it ever saw the light of day, no matter what it was. But all right, final thoughts on anything?
Really good.
All right. We
Definitely
really
enjoyed it.
enjoyed
Can't
the
wait for the next
episode.
episode.
Thanks everyone for hanging out. We will see y'all later. Peace.
Dude, end the stream.
Oh no. You gotta end it.
Oh no.
God. No.